Hi, so if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll know we do all kinds of stuff. And we do that because, well, basically, I'm a human being and I have more than one dimension. But some of the stuff that we've done have been reviews of e-bikes, and we reviewed 4 of them. 4's quite a lot of e-bikes. So I've given one away in a competition, as you know. Gave Luke one, I've got one, and my brother was visiting. Now, he lives in County Durham, so I gave him a Eskute Polluno on the proviso that he do a video about how he's getting on, because I can't ride all of those bikes. So I lent him this bike to give it a go over a couple of months and send a video about how he did, so you can get an idea of how well something like the Eskute Polluno performs. Now, he sent that video and here it is.
Hi, Dave Smith here. I'm down here at the deer park. Auckland Castle is just there. I come down here to shoot the ancient trees, and some of these trees down this way and some down this way will be, I reckon, over 1,000 years old. The Prince Bishops came here in, I think, the 12th century, and once they've established their deer park, of course, everything was protected. So those trees have lasted for that reason. So pretty impressive place, but that's not why I've come to talk to you today. I want to talk about this, and I thought I'd do that sort of car advert thing where they kind of perch their car. There's a big drop down here and you've got a vista, so I hope it looks good. But this is the Eskute Polluno e-bike. Now, I'm not going to go through specs or anything like that. They're online, and if you're watching this on my brother's channel, and I'll link his channel in the description, then he's done a review of this, because he got this as a review copy. Now, if you're on my channel, you'll know that I've been on a weight loss kick recently and getting fitter and improving fitness and all that stuff. And I've therefore done a lot of walking. But part of my problem was that I was still finding that I was using the car, say if I needed to go shopping. Now, typically I would walk to the shop and do my shop and then walk back. But it's a 6-mile round trip. And when you've factored in the actual shop, that's a couple hours. So when I needed some shopping and I didn't have all that time, I'd use the car, and I wanted to get away from that. So I was looking for a bike, and Rob suggested that I borrow this for a while and see how I got on with it. And it's that I want to talk about, because I've had this a couple of months now, and I reckon I've done 450 miles-ish in that time. I haven't been logging the miles. Some journeys are quite short, so typically I'll come down into town, do some shopping, cycle back home, and that's a 6-mile round trip. Now, I know for you cyclists out there that doesn't sound like much, but I don't profess to be a cyclist. I'm not trying to be. Maybe in the future I might want to be, but not really right now. I'm really using this as a replacement for the car, and interested to see how that works out for me. I bought some cheap pannier bags. These are 15 litres each. I put a couple extra lights on it, because the lights that come with it don't flash, as far as I know. So I wanted some that flash, and I put a rear view mirror on because I want to feel safe on the roads. Well, as safe as you possibly can in these maniacal car drivers. So let's talk about a bit about what I've done. So I do that 6-mile round trip. Then I found a track. There are plenty of disused railway lines around here, probably courtesy of beaching, and there's one that goes out to the next town along called Spennymoor, and that's a 12-mile round trip. Now, I do that trip quite often, and often I'll do a shop in the morning, which is a 6-mile round trip, and then I'll go out to Spennymoor and have a coffee, and that's 12 miles. So I've done 20 miles that day, and that track's brilliant. It's what they call a multi-use track, so you get cyclists, pedestrians, wheelchair users, you get horse riders, all sorts, but not cars and not motorbikes. So that's good. And then when I was in town recently, I saw there was a similar track out in the other direction to Durham. Now, from my house, cycling to Durham is a 30-mile round trip, and I did that the other day, earlier this week, and it's absolutely brilliant. But it did show me some things about this bike. And the first thing is, I don't know what their claimed mileage is on a full charge, but I can tell you I reckon it would do getting on for 100 miles on a full charge, and here's why. I did that 30-mile round trip and it didn't quite use 2 bars of juice, and that's out of 5. So if we say, for argument's sake, that it is 2 bars, then it would do that twice, that's 60 miles, and still have a bar left, which you imagine might do 30 miles. Now, you probably don't want to run the battery completely flat. That's generally not very good for batteries. So even at the barest minimum, you're going to do 60 miles, but you could at a pinch, I think, get towards 100. Now I leave it on pedal assist number 2. That's all I use. When I first got it here, out of town, there's a long uphill, and it just keeps going up. It's not too steep, but it is reasonably steep. It would tax you on a non-powered bike. And so the first time I did that, I thought, right, that's quite steep, it's a mile long, I'll put it on pedal assist 4. Oh my word. On pedal assist 4, you get into 4th gear, flying up that hill at 22 kilometers an hour. I don't do that now. I just leave it on pedal assist 2, and I'm between 3rd and 4th gear going up that hill. And that's brilliant. That's as much as I want. And that'll get me up at about 18 kilometers an hour, which is, what is it, a bit over 10 miles an hour, nearly 10.5 miles an hour. So I think that's pretty impressive. I think that's an impressive range. I think the pedal assist is impressive. I've never had it at pedal assist 5. I can't imagine what you would want to do with that. I did have it at pedal assist 3 the other day. Now when I do this track out to Durham, there are 2 sections which go really steeply down and really steeply up, and there's no hyperbole when I say those gradients must be at least 45 degrees. They're incredibly steep, and the first time I wasn't ready for them. I was in pedal assist 2 downhill, and I usually have gear 2 to go uphill, and I'd never been in gear 1 up to this point. Usually gear 2 go uphill, so that's what I had. I went down the hill and went back up the other side. Oh my word, I couldn't cope with it, and because the revolutions died off completely, if you're not actually turning this, you get no power out of the motor, you get no assist. So just coming to the top of that hill, I just ground to a complete halt. And so I learned my lesson. So coming back the other way, I tried first gear, pedal assist 2, and same deal, I couldn't quite get to the top. So when I hit the next section of those steep switchbacks, I quickly switched it to pedal assist 3, and that got me up to the top of the rise. So there are some things to bear in mind in that respect. It's a hub motor, so the gears don't affect what you're getting out of the motor. The gears only affect what you're putting in. You can get mid-drive motors, but people suggest that hub motors are better for e-bike beginners, and I think I would agree with that. Now, the first gear, on that really steep uphill, that first gear in pedal assist 3 was just about enough to get me up. Now I could have gone to 4, I could have gone to 5, and I don't doubt this bike would have got me up there with much greater ease. But I do want to feel that I've had a bit of a workout from this, and it is much more vigorous workout than walking. So that's good. Now this company does do a mountain bike version of this, which will have a much bigger spread on the back cassette, so you'll have a much easier first gear than on this bike. But in fairness, this bike is made, I believe, to be a city bike. So apart from the gear spread, and I don't really count that because for what it's designed for, it's absolutely perfectly good, and hardly ever do I want first gear. So are there any niggles? Well, there are. The first one is, no matter what I do, I can't I say that, but I haven't really tried very much. But I can't get the app on my mobile phone to connect with the electronics on the bike. I don't worry too much about that, which is why I haven't tried very hard to achieve it. And I might look a bit further at that, but it would be nice if that was easier. There's quite a lot of real estate on the readout on this bike, and it would be nice if there was just a little bit more information than just speed. And one of the things I'd like to see is how far I've gone. So that would be nice. One real niggle, there's a port here to charge the battery with, which comes with a rubber cover. Now that rubber cover isn't very well captured in that port, and it came out. And I didn't notice, and then I was walking through the town a day or two later, and I saw this thing on the ground and I thought, that looks familiar, and then I looked at the bike and it was mine, so I picked it up and put it back on. Later that day I noticed that it had gone again, so now I'm without. Now my OCD would drive me bonkers if this were mine, and I'd have to do something about that. So some way to better capture that port cover would probably help, but these are tiny niggles. If you're on the fence about buying one of these, oh man, I'd highly recommend it. And the price point on these, this particular model is £1,200. Eskute have one that's £1,000, and they have one that's the mountain bike version, I think is about 1,800. And those are very competitively priced in comparison with other e-bikes. So these are a perfectly good company, I would say, to buy from, and I absolutely love it. When it comes time to give this back, I think I will be buying one, but probably one of these. Pretty impressive for its price, and it gets me out and about. I'm out on it every single day. As I say, done 450 miles already, and it will just keep going. So what about photography then? Well, these pannier bags are 15 litres each, and I reckon I can get any kit in there that I want for a particular shoot. So use it for photography. I've got a bag for the tripod, so I can carry the tripod on the back of here, and I can get down here to the deer park and shoot the ancient trees. So why not? So that's my experience of using an e-bike. It's my experience of using this particular one. I hope that's been of some interest and some use. Thanks for watching.
Okay, I thought that was awesome. Now, David runs his own YouTube channel, so I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. And if you wouldn't mind jumping over to his channel and subscribing, because subscriptions, they really help out any YouTuber. They really do. And let's face it, they're of no real inconvenience. If you don't want the notifications, turn notifications off. If you enjoyed his video, and I certainly did, it was very informative actually about how the Eskute runs in real life, then jump to his channel and subscribe. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and thank you again.